And good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. Thanks for tuning in to Dreamy Dreamland with Sensei Al Bob. I am your sensei, here to tell you a story. Uh, so, do I talk too much? And what do you want to hear? I've been going on for the last 3 years about the big splat, and wake up, and um, and what's going on, and I'm just wondering if you guys listen or care, or are you just ready? The end of time's not coming anytime soon, and things can always get worse, right? And every morning I wake up to great pain and agony in my heart, in my body, in my conscious, because I feel everything, right? And for the first, let's say 15 years of my life, I just listened and watched because I was a small little guy. People, I could hide in plain sight. I still can, you know. And part of it is I represent. I had a great teacher in high school, Mr. Buchar, and his father should have gotten the Medal of Honor, but didn't because he didn't push it. He just saved, 1,000 American soldiers' life, right? With his, because he was at a place twice, there on Omaha Beach, and they were stuck because the Germans had, first of all, there were French that had these hedgerows for 1,000 years you couldn't get through, and the Germans had mined them and booby trapped them, and so the soldiers were, stuck on Omaha Beach, and more equipment and tanks and guys just kept coming off from the sea, and they weren't really prepared, and so Mr. Bukhar's father, who I think was a captain at the time, basically looked around and saw there was this one group of engineers that were black. And because they were black, they were just like digging toilets, And he went over to this one master sergeant and said, "Okay, this is a problem. We got to get through here. What do we do?" And the master sergeant said, we have, we are engineers, and so we have all of our equipment, and part of that we can, cut. We have tanks of acetylene and oxygen. We can cut steel. We have welders. We can weld. And the Germans have left all of these big I-beams and X's. Why don't we just cut them up and weld them to the front of our tanks, and use them like a plow and plow through these hedgerows. And we will put other things in front of them that will, you know, like stir up the dirt. And if there are any mines, they will blow up in front of the tank rather than underneath the tank. And, it'll blow off the steel that we weld on there, but we can just, so they started cutting up steel, and off to the side, they weren't in the main view of the Germans who were shelling them, and they were able to, do this in a matter of hours, and then start plowing through the hedgerows, right? And immediately, because all of this equipment and men were being, like a fire hose stuck. They built, 5 or 6 pathways through these hedgerows and minefields within, less than a day, and all of the force exploded out and just overpowered the Germans, because the Germans, they had 2 days to send backup. The Germans had the Americans pinned down especially at Omaha Beach, and that could have been it for the D-Day thing. They could have killed everyone and sunk all the ships, but they didn't. There were submarines in French ports. We're not, unless Adolf tells us to go, we're not going. They had men um, nearby with tanks and artillery that could have set up outside of from where the Americans could attack them, but they could attack them. And they didn't. And the other thing that the Germans didn't send was they had big 77s right at the top of the hill shooting down into the beach, and they ran out of shells, and the Germans didn't sell them any shells. So they had 2 days to do all those things and to get their Air Force to bomb the crap out of the place, and they didn't do any of that. Right? So, and then once they boom, the American army exploded into France, and the Germans weren't prepared, and they were chased out of France quite quickly, and not all of France, but the first, everything around the coast up, right? And Germany conquered Western Europe in 3 months. It took us a year and a half to get onto the German border. Anyway. So that's something to be thankful for, right? And so that was the first thing that Mr. Bukhar's father did. I should have got the Medal of Honor for that one. He did get a Silver Star for that, and he did get 2 Purple Hearts because he got shot twice. But he kept going. He kept those guys. He didn't stop those guys, because if he got stopped, he was a white guy. If he got stopped, and the black men were doing what other people would have started yelling at him, and he went and talked to his commander and said, "This is what I'm doing. Leave me alone." And the guy said, "Right, good, keep it up, do it." So that guy was a colonel, and Mr. Bukhar became, as soon as he did that, he became a major, right? So then he was, in that. So they put him in charge of that engineering guys, and they fixed bridges and they did all kinds of things. And General Patton loved these guys because they were the can-do kind of guy. Didn't care that he was a racist guy, but their commander was a major who was a white guy who he could relate to, and he always came through, always did what he had to do, right, without loss of life, and saved many, many, many thousands of people's lives by the things he did, up until the Battle of the Bulge. And again, he was in this place where he and his guys were blowing up bridges, keeping the Germans from there, and they kind of got surrounded, right? They blew up all these bridges to keep the Germans from being able to flow, through the American lines, and they were at the most pivotal place, and they kept blowing up railroads because the Germans started using railroads. They started blowing up railroad trains, and they were waiting for the Germans' railroad trains to come over where they had the explosive, and they blow up all the tanks and stuff, not just blow up the train lines. And so they were, and they took their, it's hard for black guys to look like Frenchmen, but they had some French resistance with them, and so they were doing, just really keeping the Germans from, just flying through the lines. So, and they kept blowing up oil depots and the Americans, Mr. Bukhar, right? And so he was, basically with that, his 800 guys and about another 400 French guys, just, being at the edge and stopping the Germans, right? And they got surrounded, right? And they were at this pivotal place where they could have run away, but they held it because it was like that place where if the Germans could get through there, they would have flooded through, and that would have been it. So, he basically stayed there and dug in, and the Germans had, meaning if they had a lot of artillery to spare, they would have blown the place up, but they couldn't. They just said, "You're surrounded. We're going to kill you guys unless you surrender," and they just wouldn't surrender, right? And that was enough time for the Americans to get their act together. And the first place they went was right there because he still had radio communication in phone communication to his commander, who then by then became a general, and that guy brought the posse in to back them up, and so that's one of the. There was more than just him stopping the Battle of the Bulge from happening, but he was one of the major guys. So he got another Silver Star, and with all kinds of clusters, and they made him a colonel. And then he was kept logistically. He kept they didn't they were not they after that they were no longer the head of the spear, the tip of the spear. They basically were brought back and helped build the bridges that blew up and develop the logistics to move all that stuff that was coming in from America. And they built the world's largest artificial port and a few other things like that, which he got another bunch of medals for. Right, so this guy had more medals than you could imagine. So he gets to the war ends and Germany's kind of separated. I mean, Russia kind of takes what they want, and that was all like. They figured that out in Tehran, in Iran. And you see that picture of FDR, Winston Churchill, and Stalin, and they're all smiling because they have just defined the New World Order. And it wasn't the New World Order for them. Well, up until today, we're still dealing with the New World Order. I mean, the stuff that's going on with Putin and in Ukraine is part of that deal, right? Let's see. John said you are going to his house. Maybe. I have no idea what I'm doing, right? I know I can't stay in the deep green, but I have no idea, right? And, I've done that before. John has thrown me up 32 times. Last winter, I went to visit John, like after New Year's, second, third week of New Year's, and then we had this big ice storm, and I got iced up there. I was just going to visit. I didn't intend to stay there, and I was iced in. And he, by the third day of that ice storm, he said, "You got to go. Get out." And I said, "John, look, the road is a sheet of ice. I can't drive down that. It'll wreck my car, right?" I said, "Well, no, you can drive down." And he walked down the hill to show that, right at the top where the A-frame is, and he like did a triple somersault, hit his butt on the ice, and slid all the way down, right? And then he got up, fell down, got up, fell down, got up, fell down, got up, fell into the woods, got up, fell down, got up, fell in the woods, and then he crawled his way up that until he got there. So I guess you can't drive down. So. That's my whole thing about being with John. Let's see. Oh, there he is. Speak of the devil. Hey, handsome.
Hey, how you doing? How are you?
Oh, I'm good. I'm out and about. I'm getting all my ducks in a row, and I'm on live chat right now. I was telling the story of Mr. Bukhar's father, who was a war hero and a scholar. And after the war, he was teaching at Brown. And during the Reds, blackballing, here's a guy who should have gotten two, what do you call those? The highest decoration you can, Medal of Honor. He should have gotten two of those. He was such a hero.
I thought my dad had one, but he doesn't.
You thought your dad got a Medal of Honor?
No, he didn't. He has two Purple Hearts.
Oh, right. And so Mr. Bukhar's father had 6 Silver Stars, 18 Purple Hearts, and a number of other. And he went from being a captain to being a colonel.
My dad may have a medal. I don't think my dad has a Medal of Honor, but he has the most stars.
Right.
Star asking me they have. That'd be so weird to get a Medal of Honor. That's like given by the president or something.
Yeah, it's only guys like Forrest Gump get the Medal of Honor.
Purple Hearts, but he won't put it on his license plate. He doesn't like to brag.
Right. Mm-hmm. So anyway, so Mr. Bukhar's father came back and got his job back at Brown, and he was teaching history, and he was declared a communist, and they fired him and they blackballed him. He couldn't publish. He couldn't do anything. And when Mr. Buchar was in, and and when Mr. Buchar was in high school, he came home, and his father had blown his brains out and splattered them. You know, when Mr. Buchar came home from high school, he found his father's brains all over the living room ceiling.
That's really scary. That's bad.
So he was, you know, very, he was not the biggest fan of the big lie. And Mr. Buchar was the first guy to tell me.
His mother, Mishka's grandmother, they sent her a package in Russia from Russia.
Yeah, and it blew it up. Well, Inga was in the shower, and the house blew up, and Inga was naked in the shower, and she crawled out from underneath all the plaster and laughed, naked, it's sticking to her body, and her mother-in-law's head was blown off and flew through the air and was out in the front yard.
Oh no!
Did Mishka tell you that part?
No, I didn't know Mishka had that happen to his grandmother, and his mother had to go through that. That's terrible, and it was in the Second World War.
Did you read Inga's book?
Was it in Russia, or was it? Oh, it was in Russia because his father was in.
Yes, he was more of a patriot than Stalin was. So he Stalin his boys tried to kill him.
Weird. I didn't know. I haven't had any personal experience too much with it other than Mishka. I know he was.
Did you read Inga's book? Did you read Inga's book?
Yeah, I read Inga's book.
Well, in the book it talks about it.
His neighborhood.
In Inga's book,
Wow.
Yeah, it tells the whole story of how they were always, all during World War II, they were running away from the war. You know, they never could get out.
I think she or God helped me. I think she helped me get to this neighborhood.
Yep.
God. Really God, yes. Weird.
So, God lives there with you in the hill. The hill is probably one of the most amazing representation of God. So, John, do you walk, that path that I made up into the hill and all the way around? And you used to run it up with carrying barbells?
Is that okay that you're in a video?
Yeah, I'm doing a live chat.
Your voice? Okay. I've got you in the video too.
Yeah, there I am. The clouds are behind me. Right. Mm-hmm. So, anyway, so Mr. Bukhar's father's committed suicide, and Mr. Buchar had to go home and find his dad's brains splattered across the ceiling, because here's a man who was a hero for his country, and then he was accused of being an enemy.
Okay.
And so Mr. Buchar was, following his father's footsteps, became a scholar, was at Brown, and he left Brown and he taught at our prep school because these were the richest kids in the world, and he wanted to change the world by changing us. And he surely changed me, that's for sure. So today's show is about being thankful and what thankful is. So are you thankful about being at the school?
Yes, I'm thankful for all I have right now.
Okay.
I'm thankful to God for how it is. I'm not as depressed.
Right. Okay. So what is
Are you thankful?
Well, as I say every day, I wake up in screaming pain, and that basically tells me that I'm alive. So I'm thankful for that. And then I meditate and pray for about an hour, and I read the Bible. And by doing that, the pain goes away. So I'm thankful for that. That's every day. So I have a very thankful, loop, and so it's a feedback loop. So then I go from that, usually around 9 o'clock, off to do whatever I'm going to do. And so that's what I do. That's how I do it. That's how I roll. And so I am thankful. I am brought into the blessings of being thankful and grateful and graceful every minute of the day. So that's where I'm at with that.
At least you only have yourself to be responsible for. Like, you can work on your health and stuff, but the thing is, we're getting older, and you're older.
Yeah, I'm way older. Yeah, I'm in my 70s. But
So
and that's why the staying here for the winter is going to be a little tough because it gets icy, and I'm way out in the middle of the woods, and no one ever sees me. And so if I fell down and broke something, they'd find me in the spring being eaten by squirrels. So that's why I'm getting out of here. So
well, you have your neighbors and your phone. You could call me or the computer.
No, my phone really doesn't work out there. I mean, it sometimes works, but not all the time. Like it works maybe 20% of the time, right?
Well, you could stay here, but I really work.
No, I don't want to make it an imposition. I know it costs you money. And
you can stay here, but
I'm definitely got gonna go different places, and so but I'll try and come visit you. If that's okay. A day or two, I'll come and visit you.
When are you gonna be here? Let's
I would say in a few weeks. Before Thanksgiving. Sometime before Thanksgiving. But I have to prepare everything.
What are you gonna do here? We can meditate.
Okay. Why don't we meditate right now, John?
Okay, I don't know.
So are you sitting down? Are you relaxed? Are you in a good shape?
I'm in a chair.
Okay, so sit back, uncross anything, uncross your legs, uncross your arms, put your hands down above your kneecaps, and have your palms facing up. And start breathing consciously. That means for you there in the audience, just breathe nice and deep. Breathe in, fill your lungs as far as you could go. Keep going, filling them. Feel your lungs expand. Feel your diaphragm rise. Fill them as much as you can. Fill them up, and then let it all out. So consciously focus on your breath. Don't speak, don't talk, just focus every conscious element, thought you got on your breath. So breathe nice and deep in and nice and deep out, right? So feel that. And as you're breathing in, what you're feeling is the prana, the life force of God, God's unconditional love. And feel that. So see that light right behind my head? That's God's unconditional love. Feel it well, feel it strong. And it's filling your lungs up. And as the blood gets pumped from your heart through your lungs, and you're expelling.
Great, good.
You're expelling all of that toxicity, all that emotional toxicity, all that fear, all that self-loathing, all of that. You just breathe it all out. So breathe in through your nose, and then breathe out through your mouth. And put that squirrel in your mind that always has those crazy thoughts, always got to do this. How am I going to pay my bills? I want my kids. Blah, 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 blah. That squirrel is not who you are. Your bag of water, your body isn't who you are. Your soul isn't who you are. It's your spirit, because your spirit is in co-creation with God. Feel that. So as you're breathing in that prana, that life force, that's what animates us all. Feel it. Feel that little energetics go into every cell of your blood, and feel that prana spread out through your whole body and heal everything in your body. So you're just getting better and better and better. Feel that clearly, right? So I'm going to be quiet for a moment, and I'm going to let you breathe and concentrate and cleanse your body with your breath and just, right? And I'm going to count from 1 to 3. And starting with 1, your conscious mind is totally focused on your breath, right? Now I'm going to be quiet, and I'm going to let you breathe and feel God's love inside of you. Feel it strongly. Gotta move. Start with us.
I understand. I get stiff too.
Praise God. Praise Jesus. Yeah. Praise God. Praise Jesus. Praise God. Praise Jesus. Praise I'm gonna go. Bye. So he thought he took the shot. Well, the other boy started walking up to the door, and he just reached and grabbed the door and slammed the door behind him. And I thought, buddy, try something. I'll find something in here, and I'll knock your ass out and drag you right here. Because one of them didn't have to see. And neither one of them ever worked today in their life. So the first thing he said, you ain't hiring, are you? And I said, no, not really. He said, really, I wasn't looking for a job anyway. I thought, hey. So I said, I'm going to say something. I'm going to give you a shot. We're going to see what happens. It looks like the dead bodies. See that, man? Hey. It looks like the dead bodies.
Okay. Good to see you. How you doing? Is everyone breathing? Remember, conscious intent, I am. So, it's all good. It's all blessed. And I care about you a great deal. Good, very like you're breathing. So, now this is the thing you do. You focus your conscious mind on your breath, so you stop thinking about everything else. You illuminate yourself with that prana. See every cell of your body full of love. Yep, I'm here. Yep, I'm here.
And we have 2 pork chops that are cubicized and twisted 2 sides, or sides of the top, back, and the middle. And just a break for 6.99 for our lunch special today. What forgotten about it is hot. And I only go here. Send me some more food. And I'll be back.
Okay. So there we are. I love you too, Frederick. And so, your body now is totally illuminated with God's love, and you're expelling all of the waste products. You expel more with your weight of your waste through your breath. We expel about 120,000 liters of breath every day. It's way more than urine or feces or sweat. So we get rid of more if we breathe, right? So you're illuminated, and you're going to you're inside your body. You're seeing yourself healing, and you go to where you have sleep. You have REM sleep. Your eyelids are like the imaginary mirror, right? And so you're standing in front of it, and it's just glistening with photonic light, and everything's shiny, and you walk through it. And when you walk through it, you go into your. Here we go, John. Hey, John, how you doing with meditation? Are you meditating? Are you there? John, are you there? Are you there? John, are you there?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you meditating, John?
Yeah, let's go drive across country right now. I have tons of food. I got $500 of groceries, $540 of groceries or something.
Holy moly! John, I haven't spent more than $200 on groceries since June. I haven't spent $200 on groceries all from June until today. I have spent less than $200 on groceries. That's how little money I have.
$400 million.
Yeah. Okay. Later, buddy. Yeah. So that's John. That doesn't have to be you, though. You don't have to be that. You don't have to be that. What you can be is that you can be love's co-creation, and that's what we are. We just have to be conscious about it. We have to be in that space consciously, right? And not unconscious. So see that clearly, right? And I have to get going. So you stay in this state, right? All day. Just keep, consciously breathing. And you're now in your Akashic record. You're in that library. You're looking all around. It's this big fireplace, right? And you're looking at it. It looks like everything's made out of stone, but in reality, those big stones are books. So see them clearly, right? And then walk. There's the big keep, the big fireplace. It's like you can drive a truck through it. In front of it, there's some nice, comfy chairs and a coffee table. You could have guests. And then behind that is your reading table. And there's a photonic light coming from above, and there are no shadows. Whatever you see on that table is clear, right? There is no shadows. And behind it is so feel that thankfulness, and you sit down at your reading table, and to your left is your librarian, your animal totem, and your guardian angel. See them clearly, right? Your librarian bring you your Akashic record. You open up 2 blank pages, and the books are gigantic, right? Pages full. Put your right hand on the right page, left hand on the left page, and you lean in and you evacuate, just like a fire hose, vomit all of the negativity in your body out onto the page, right? And you look at it, and it's swirling around, and it's like got a life of its own, and it looks like a Rorschach check. And every 10 seconds or so, it's swirling around. It stops, and you see an image, and it gets click picture, click picture, click picture. Then you close the book, boom. And all of that negativity, anxiety, and fear and frustration is out of your body. And you basically open the book and look at it, and what you see is a big screen. And around it is 28 little screens. And all of those pictures you took of the Rorschach tests, you see them and you can see exactly what, oh, look at that. That was when I was 5 years old. Oh, look at that. It's when the gym teacher yelled at me. Oh, look at that. It's when my parents made me feel terrible. Oh, look at that. And you then see the different perspectives, 28 different perspectives all the way around. And you say, no, that's not so bad. Oh, look at that. I won't do that again. And that's what the Akashic Record's for you to get perspective what's going on. And as you do this, you lighten up. You feel great. You feel who you are. You feel that child of God. You feel that love in every day and every way. See it clearly, right? So, how about some thumbs up? Right, coming from your Akashic Record is that big screen. There's that, there's the keyboard. Just hit some thumbs up. I have to go, so I want you to stay in this state all day, and see the difference between the Akashic Records and the illusionary world, and you can start to be able to navigate your life. You are the decider. You can decide what you want to do. You don't have to be told. You don't have to, you'll have to navigate it. I mean, in this illusionary world, you're in this bag of water. That brings a kind of context that you kind of have to, just can't ignore it. You got to navigate, but you can decide. And conscious intent. Everything you do your best. You don't try. Forget about trying. Just do, right? You don't have to be perfect. Just do. Be your best. See it clearly. And I'm thankful for you, Frederick, and all of those who are watching, and anyone who wants to send me something on my PayPal. I could really use it. I'm going to be heading out, and I have $60, to go spend the rest of the winter. I have no idea where I'm going, Yes, I can go visit John, but I can't stay there because he'll throw me out within hours or a day or two, right? I have other places to go, but when you're couch surfing, you're like fish, It's all very tasty and good to see it when you get there, but then you start to smell and you got to go. So I need some support these next few months. So the PayPal and the due-to-wake42 at Gmail, due-to-wake42 at Gmail. John says, I got $580 worth of food. I haven't spent $200 on food, since June. During the COVID, I was getting 100 and something bucks for food stamps. They got it down to 47. And then I, was talking to the powers that be, and they said, oh, no, we need to give you more. So here's $6 more a month. Gee, thanks. I can be thankful for $6 more. Thank you. Right? But it doesn't help. But you guys do, and you always do. You always come through. I mean, you don't send me a lot, but it's always just what I need. So whatever you could spare, I'd be more than thankful for. Right? And I'm saving every nickel I have. So it'd be great if you put something in the PayPal in the next few weeks and next weeks after that, all the way till I come back in March or June, right? So, but I'll be on the BOP, and when I'm on the BOP, you're going to see some interesting stuff. I'm going to be all over the place, and I'll be finding a place that I can get on somebody's Wi-Fi and tell you the stories that are on the BOP, right? So here it is, the first day of November, the Thanksgiving month. So let's all be thankful, right? Let's be consciously intent on what we want, and we will get that. There are about 100 of you folk who email me, and you can email me at the due-to-wake42 at Gmail. And you have become, that 100 has become more. The guys who comment here, and I'd love some comments down below. I know most of you watch this show later on, and you kind of play it like wallpaper in the background, right? But everyone who watches it, and you're not watching live, so you can't comment on the live chat. If you could comment on the comments. I really like to see that, right? And you can be as verbose as you want. You know, you just don't have to keep it down to one sentence. You know, it's not a tweet. You can go on for whatever you want to. So I'm here for you. I'm always here for you. Get a hold of me at the dudeawake42 at Gmail. And 100 that have or so that have contacted me over the years are my more than my cadre. They're my adepts, and they have all amazingly changed their life. I mean, really amazing. So that's what why I do this is because I change people's lives, right? And I'm not doing it, to A-listers. I'm like at the bottom of the, they keep me on the farm here on YouTube, but it does have its effect. I am that pebble in the pond of love co-creation on the World Wide Web, and so you can do the same. So that's what on the first day of Thanksgiving, the first day of November, I'm thankful that I'm talking to you guys, right? I'm thankful that I can make you feel better. I'm thankful for being there for you, right? So because just by your presence, you're there for me. So I love you guys. I'll talk to you soon. I gotta go. And Frank, thanks for being here. I love you. And come back more. And Frank, get a hold of me at the dudeawake42 at Gmail. And all those who have, and if you're in America, leave me your phone number. Again, I have spotty access to the internet at best. So I can get, 30, 40 emails a day easy. I thought I turned you off. Was this John Boy? Oh, question. He probably turned my phone back on. Hey, handsome.
Can you put it on? Can you put it on speakerphone?
What?
Can you put it on speakerphone?
I have you on speakerphone, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Cheeseburger, 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 cheeseburger.